Hello, friends. Happy Thanksgiving. Today's episode is brought to you by From Within Records. They're having a Black Friday sale, 20% off the entire store. Use code Friday. If you're not following From Within Record on social media, please boot up X, boot up Instagram, click that follow button to stay up to date on all the current news. And like I always say, please support From Within Records because they support us. If you're looking for high quality merch for your band, for your business, please hit up my friends over at Good Fortune Printing out of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. You can follow them on Instagram at Good Fortune Printing. If you want to get in contact with them, please email them contact@goodfortuneprinting.com. On today's episode, we had to track down our good friend Tyler Short. Loki season 2 just wrapped up, and if I'm gonna be honest, it might be my favorite thing in a while in terms of the MCU. It's no secret things are in a weird place, and I honestly didn't think we would ever be in a situation where I'm hoping things would get back on track. I don't know if they could ever recapture the magic, what was everything leading up to Endgame, but I honestly, with the amount of content and the amount of characters that they were introducing, like characters that I loved, I was like, for sure, I thought this would be a home run, but I never imagined Ant-Man Quantumania would be the worst of the Ant-Man movies. I thought Kang would have a bigger presence by now. And obviously, a lot of things got pushed back, scheduling issues. So the lack of post-credit scenes is what I'm so surprised by, because that was always something that we would look forward to whenever there was a new movie from the MCU, when there was these Disney Plus series ending. We're always looking forward to something, these little breadcrumbs that would lead to the next thing, but it's been absent. We've gotten a couple things, but I'm very surprised at the current state of the MCU. And someone kind of compared it to the Marvel comic books back when they were when they had like a big reboot with like the all new, if any of you remember that. And it's very similar, and I was very surprised too, because I lived through that. I bought those books, and I was just absorbing everything in real time and accepting change for certain characters, right? With like these mantles being passed down to new characters. And yeah, I didn't realize how similar the MCU is to it was back then. But the main difference is I feel like I was so brand new to comic books that I was just like in love with everything. So maybe my perspective was like a little skewed. But when I kind of sit back and look at the MCU and say, wow, we're going through like this similar trend, but I don't like it as much as I like the comic books, and it's not that far off. It's a little surprising, but regardless, I love Marvel, and I'm going to see this, till the end, whether it's a good end or a bad end. It's just an interesting ride so far, because young Jamie would be happy to have any of what we have now. So I'm not going to just be ungrateful and just write everything off. I want to actually take my time and try to analyze and hope that things move to a better future. And I didn't expect for a perfect ride, right? To have a perfect record would be insane. I never expected that out of Marvel Studios, but I'm going to be very patient, because we have things looming. X-Men and Fantastic Four are what I'm focusing on, because those are two things that I used to tell my friends, like, okay, if I lived to see Street Fighter 6, I'll be happy. And I made it, right? Street Fighter 6 is out. I'm Diamond 2, grinding to Diamond 3. I've been having a bad streak lately, but also I think that's due to lack of motivation. But we got some new costumes coming, and Maurice's new costume looks amazing. I use a mod, so I'm actually going to go to an official costume when Costume 3 releases at the beginning of December. But anyways, I used to think, like, okay, if I could live to see Street Fighter 6, I'll be okay. But now I'm just like, okay, if I can live to see an X-Men and I'm getting a little greedy here, and a Fantastic Four Marvel Studios film, then I'll be happy. Because X-Men, growing up in the 90s, I was born in the 80s, but growing up in the 90s and watching cartoons, watching the X-Men cartoon from the 90s is a classic. And before school, this was before Pokemon. This is how I found out about Pokemon. Before school, I would get up early and I would turn on the TV, and it would either be Iron Man or Fantastic Four. It would switch off. And it was either the 4th grade or the 5th grade. I remember I'm like, all right, first day of school, this is going to be so annoying. And I was like, all right, I can watch this block of cartoons before I had to walk to the bus, because the bus stop to get to school was like pretty close to where I lived at the time. But I remember I went to go watch what was supposed to be either Iron Man or Fantastic Four, and Pokemon came on, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, but this is kind of cool. That's how I found out Pokemon. But anyways, I've been loving X-Men and Fantastic Four since I was a young kid, and the Fantastic Four movies have never gotten a fair shake. For anyone who's watched any Fantastic Four movie, it's been not good. The last one was surrounded in controversy, and I dream about what the actual director's cut would be like. Because if any of you remember, there was all that drama, and Homeboy got kicked out of the editing room, and he made a big stink about it. Then he just got removed completely, because he was supposed to do some other stuff for Disney, and it just didn't happen. Was it due to his blow up on Twitter, or was it due to the movie selling poorly? I don't know, but I'm curious. But anyways, and going back to X-Men, those have been okay. I feel like the best X-Men movie is Days of Future Past or Logan, whatever you want to talk about, or even Deadpool. Deadpool's decent, but I'm not the biggest Deadpool fan. But yeah, I think Days of Future Past is probably the best X-Men team movie. And if I could get something similar level or even better quality than that, I would be so happy. Because even for anyone who's watched one movie, why can't I think of the Doctor Strange, where he goes and you get to see some of these characters, right? Obviously it's not going to be the same people who are going to be playing the actual Fantastic Four characters, because like we got to see Reed Richards, Charles Xavier, obviously in another dimension, but it was just like, wow, we're finally here. It's such a big deal that Marvel actually owns the rights to those properties again. So that's something that I never thought I would see. So for them to have acquired Fox and get the licensing back to those, it's just, we're so close. But obviously it's going to take some time, right? They hopefully they can build to those properly. Obviously with Jonathan Majors going to trial, and who knows what his contract situation is, because there's some news that there was a clause in the contract that they can't recast. So I'm very curious to see how this whole thing plays out, and I think that's going to be a big thing to see where this moves forward. Is I think they're going to wait to see what happens with Jonathan Majors before making any big moves. And obviously I hope there's justice in that case. I hope things play out the way they should, and we can move forward, because there's so much mystery in terms of what's going to happen with the MCU, and I think a lot of it rides on that court case. But I'm looking forward to the future. I honestly think I'm like, all right, with what we have lined up, I was like, I don't think it can get any worse. Like there's some Disney Plus series that I'm not too excited for, but I'm not going to write them off, because I welcome the new content, but I'm just curious. So hopefully this is the low point, and we start to climb back up. Because I was talking to my buddy Nate, shout out Nate, and we were talking about Shang-Chi, and thinking about how long ago Shang-Chi was in theaters when that superhero was introduced to the world, and his presence in the MCU has been very small. I'm just like thinking like, wow, like we have all these things lined up, and there's not even a Shang-Chi 2 like on the timeline. It's insane because there's a lot that they have to work back into these Avengers things, and I think that's when we'll see Shang-Chi. We'll definitely see Shang-Chi and Avengers, and we'll see that all happen before he gets a sequel. Hopefully he gets a sequel. He deserves a sequel. He deserves a trilogy at least. I thought his movie was awesome. But this is our episode talking about Loki season 2. We're going to return very soon to talk about the Marvels. And then I want to kind of just go over what has happened in the past year with the MCU, break down our top stuff from the year, and then we'll just have our rankings. It'll be fun. It'll be a great breakdown. But I am sad, no holiday special for anyone who listened to our last year's breakdown of the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. That was really fun. Christmas might be my favorite holiday, so I'm a little sad that we don't have a Christmas special breakdown. But the Marvels, last Marvel podcast of the year, it'll be fun. But before then, here is our Loki season 2 podcast. So please strap in, enjoy this conversation. Without further ado, welcome Tyler Short to the show. All right, and we're recording. Welcome back to the podcast. Tyler Short, how's it going?
What's up, buddy?
Oh,
I'm stoked. I'm stoked today.
Yeah. I feel like Loki delivered, so I'm happy that we're not going to be having like a bad conversation about something in the MCU, since that seems to be like this ongoing trend. But
ups and downs right now. Ups and downs.
Yeah. And as rocky as the future seems, I'm still on board. Like, I'm not going anywhere. I know a lot of people are jumping off the Marvel train. They're comparing the MCU to DC now, which is totally fine. But we're gonna be here till the end. I don't think we're gonna give up on this anytime soon.
Even if it gets ugly, it'll still be fun. Eternals was still fun to talk about, even though I hated it. Yeah,
no, for sure. Still a crazy experience. Still kind of traumatizing when we think back to it. And the fact that even though we're so far removed from it, it was so bad that they have not even touched on it. So,
yeah, sadly for them.
I think maybe the next time we'll see it is probably Blade, right? Because it has to be Blade, because Blade was technically in like the post-screen credits, but it was just his voice, like obviously no on-screen appearance, but he was speaking.
Yeah, man, I know we talked about it for like 2.5 hours already, but just really striking out in T-ball with that one. It was pretty rough.
Yeah, but from the beginning, right? Like nobody asked for that. Nobody wanted that. I think it was just
my coworker was so excited about it. I know I talked about it when we did that episode, but she was so excited about it, and somehow was still fine with it after seeing it. But man, we had a discussion at work about it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so Loki wrapped up, right? And I know people have been wondering, like, okay, where's the Loki episode? Where's the Marvels episode? But we're here.
I haven't seen it
yet. Yeah. Truth be told, Marvels, we have not watched it yet, but we're going to watch it, and then the episode will be coming out very soon. So please be patient. That will be the last one for the year, which should be fun. Nice way to wrap up this whole crazy year, in terms of Marvel. But going back to Loki, I was very excited to start the season because I was kind of like lukewarm with season 1, but I feel like in hindsight,
I loved it.
I feel like in hindsight, I kind of realized like how good it actually is.
Yeah.
And that pumped me up for season 2, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. Like season 1 left off at such a crazy note, but then I kind of got soured by like, Quantum Mania and the things that followed, but that's not Loki's fault. So after I kind of had to reassess, I was really pumped for season 2, and I do miss the way they used to drop these, right? Where it would be like, boom, here's the whole season, watch it at your own pace. So going back to like, all right, 1 episode per week, I was like, damn it, this is crazy, because I've been like wanting it so bad every week because it was so good.
Yeah, no, we actually we were in a binging True Blood like situation for almost the entire month of October.
Okay.
So when we finally finished that, that Fall of the House of Usher show had dropped. So we watched that in 2 days. And then when we finished that, I was like, would you be down to like watch Loki so I can talk about it with Jamie, because it ends next week? So we watched 5 episodes in like 2 days, and then had to wait a week, and then watched. Or actually, we might have watched that right after True Blood, and then watched House of Usher while we waited for the last episode. So we just binged the first 5 episodes in like over 2 days, and then had to wait a week for the finale. So
okay,
I didn't have to wait any weeks for this. I was really, really slacking.
Yeah, no, for me, if I'm not on it like that, I'll be like watching like the whole season like the night before, and like I wanted to be well prepared for this one, because right now we don't know when we're gonna get another good thing from the MCU. Everything's so up in the air right now, so I'm like, all right, like I want to take this in and actually enjoy it and not kind of rush myself and make it become a chore.
Yeah, I'm really curious what's going to happen with like, because we're going to end up, we had so much this year, and then we'll have stuff next year, but then that strike's going to really affect some of the releases.
Well, I think that's why they pushed so many things to 2025 to compensate for that.
Yeah, but
also like some movies had reshoots and stuff, so we're not going to get a jam-packed 2024. But I think beyond 2025, 2026, 2027, I feel like we'll hit that nice curve, and hopefully things we'll be back on track.
I mean, really, I really hope just more quality, less quantity.
Yeah, but I feel like they've kind of dug themselves in this hole where
they have to.
Yeah, because like
they've got too many stories going.
Exactly. You like, unless you start killing people off or writing people off, then it's gonna then we're gonna have to deal with like a whole crazy hectic time frame. Which this might be it, right? Because there's so many whispers behind the scenes like where this whole thing is headed, and I hope we go anywhere but a reset of like the whole universe, right? Because there's like I've heard talks of like just wiping the slate clean and just starting over. I think that they've come so far and built so many great characters that I think it would be a crime to do that at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it would be awesome if this thing could go 20 years.
Yeah,
like, and they're close. They're so close. They should at least make it. I think if they can make it 20 years. They could do a sort of soft reboot sort of situation with some characters at that point, and it be warranted. Like I've heard people thinking that after we get Secret Wars, that might be the reboot or reset moment where like things can. Some recasting can happen, and I'm fine with that because that's 4 years away.
yeah, 100%. Like as much as like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, to me, like I'm at peace with them casting somebody else, because I felt like he did his job in that role, just like everybody else. Like I feel like Chris Evans, he I feel like he justified the Captain America character. So things like that I'm completely fine with. Like I'm not gonna be bummed out or try to call Robert Downey Jr. back. It's just like let him go. Like we don't like. It's like I said, he did his job. We don't need him anymore. Like all respect, I love him. He's like Iron Man, like my favorite MCU character. But I'm like at that point, I would be okay to move on. Like no issues.
Yeah, no, me too. And I don't know. I think if they could just, man, it's just such a jarring thing to come from Secret Invasion to Loki season 2.
Yeah.
Like that swinging wildly from one end of the pendulum to the other.
Yeah, and I feel like there's like so many like loose ends that need to be like tidied up, and obviously like real world stuff. That's why like there's all these issues and things are getting pushed back. Like I was I forget what podcast I was listening to, but they're talking about from when like Ironheart was announced to when they wrapped up to when it's supposed to come out, it's going to be like 3 or 4 years in total.
Oh my god, that girl's going to look completely different by the time.
Yeah, it's like it's rough, and especially when you're casting like these younger actors and actresses, like you have to time it right
on that. Yeah, you have to capitalize on their youth.
Yeah, because like if you look at Stranger Things, right, they had to do like a time skip, but like in the MCU with one particular person, you can't just justify a time skip because the whole universe.
The whole universe has to move. Yeah.
So it's just
I think they probably should I think a smart thing at this point for some stories would be to figure out what could happen in the meantime in other stories, and they could be referenced without showing. And then we could see those. I mean, like, it sucks we didn't get the Black Widow movie I think everybody wanted, which was just a flashback to her and Hawkeye when they're younger, which would have been awesome. But I think they should play around more with timeline, and everything doesn't have to be told chronologically. We could just get like a later Peter Parker story that takes place in 10 years. Like, just the way, I mean, I just think when you're allowed to like play with things like that, like, and do movies like The Batman or Logan, that like they fit in a greater world. Like Logan still fits in that X-Men universe, but it takes place and tells this whole self-contained story that's beautiful and moving and emotional and, appropriately scaled for the character. But I don't know. I think that this commitment to chronology is really hindering a lot of the way they're telling these stories. And I think just like being like, whatever, this Guardians movie or this fucking Thor movie, this can take place like 10 years after fucking we where we currently are. Let's just tell a good story rather than worrying about like, well, what happened before? What happens next? Just have fun. Don't take it so seriously. It's a fucking comic book movie.
Yeah, but I feel like that's like their whole model, right? Was to have everything connect.
Yeah, but now that you've got so many stories up in the air, people just gotta be able to run with things. If they're being, but when they made these movies earlier, they were able to. I mean, Captain America, First Avenger, we're gonna go back to the fucking 40s and tell a story.
Yeah, but that was his origin story.
Yeah, but it's fine. But I mean, it's still like it happened. They had already set movies in the modern day. Like you can play around with this a little bit more, I think, and give us good movies, good films, rather than having to tell like a story that makes sense in the greater world. Like, I don't know. I thought this Loki show did such a good job of existing outside of everything else, but still connecting it in a way. And this shit took place over the course of all time.
you reference the Batman. See, something like that is so good. I wish it was part of like the DCEU, because that's like what they need to save them. But it's like how are like, and even with Joker, right? I'm not too stoked on the second one coming out, but that was
I can't wait to see how silly this shit is.
It was such a good movie. They're like, why couldn't this Joker be the Joker that they need? But obviously that's not their model. But see, with Marvel, like I'm the mind where I want like this to, you know, all like kind of be, you know, in order, if that makes sense. Because if and obviously they are jumping around, right, skipping time, whatever. That Loki, they're going all over the place, which is fine. But it's like like, you know, to try to fix like, you know, what's going on. But they are doing that, right? I forget which is it, the Echo series, where like, yeah, this is not really like, you know, going to tie to like what's really going on in the MCU, but it's there.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, that's what Moon Knight did. I thought Moon Knight was cool until the last episode, and how kind of like superhero punch 'em up it got at the end with the giant monsters and all the CGI. I thought Moon Knight was awesome until it got kind of silly at the end. But
see, I thought they were building to connect all these shows again, because they were supposed to do like the Midnight Suns, because like they're, you know, introducing people like Blade.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really care either way. Like, I'm still gonna watch these fucking things because I'm an idiot. But I think you either go full on, everything's gonna connect, and if you aren't with it, then you know, shape up or ship out, or just make things good. Yeah. And don't worry about what else is going on in the universe. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what sets these things apart that causes some of them to end up being so good and rewarding and moving, and some of them to be seemingly such a waste of fucking time.
Well, I was listening to, I'm pretty sure it's New Rockstars. They're talking about how they used to have like this writing program where they would, you know, task these like people to go through like a workshop before they were just handed these like, you know, characters to just write for. And more recently, like they get like abandoned they like closed up the workshop, and they're just like handing out stuff left and right, which like before that would never happen, which makes way more sense. Because if you look at the quality of like storytelling and like some of these like newer stuff, it's just like so wacky. And even with Loki, like was it the director or somebody that had the making the show talked about how episode 5 was like supposed to be like way different, but Marvel didn't like it, so they had them like completely change the episode.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because if you kind of go back and watch that one, you know, from 5 to 6, it's just like it just doesn't really like make sense. Because if you like, there's no Renslayer, Miss Minutes, just like their characters were just done. So it's pretty interesting, because apparently they were supposed to go back and like end up at these certain points in time, like the battle for New York.
Really?
Yeah, but apparently
Marvel vetoed it.
Yeah, because they felt like they'd gone to that well too many times already, so they didn't want to do it again for Loki. So they're just like, hey, like figure it out, but you're not doing that.
That's pretty funny, because of all the things that have dipped back into the well of Avengers, Loki was there.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, he took the Tesseract, and that's how he ended up in his damn own show. So
yeah, like that's he was there.
Yeah. So
that's pretty silly. Well, damn. I honestly like. You want to go? Let's talk about the show a little bit, and
okay.
And some of these episodes, I've got them pulled up. Because I really liked what they did with some of the characters. I thought like the Ouroboros character was awesome. The
best character in the whole season, I think. My favorite character. Like, I don't know the actor's name, but as soon as I heard his voice, I'm like, I know who that is, because I saw him in that A24 film.
He's also the kid from the Goonies.
Oh, I've never seen the Goonies. Oh, that's him.
You ever seen the Goonies?
No,
dude?
I've never seen the Goonies.
Have you ever seen Temple of Doom? Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Oh, that's him? Oh shit, I didn't even know that.
Little
Okay.
kid. Yeah.
Wow.
He was like a little kid actor in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, he still looks the same.
But literally my favorite character in the and he's so integral to like the whole TVA.
Yo, and he was the butt of so many long form jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, the amount of times they are in a situation where you can't tell where something begins and ends, and he is like there to say the funniest fucking thing at that moment. Like when him and Victor meet and they realize that his handbook is based off of the things that Victor turned out. That all Victor's ideas are based off reading his handbook. They're like, well, which one came first? We're like, it's impossible to know.
Yeah,
it's awesome, dude. I thought that shit was awesome. But yeah, no, that was awesome. I thought they like the time slipping thing was really cool.
Yeah, that was insane because like having like Loki just like freak out and not know what's going on.
Yeah, and dude, in the way they played with all of those different like the way he's existing in all the different timelines at the same time, like and interact, like realizing that he's the one who fucking smoked himself that was such a good reveal. When you realize that he was walking up behind himself and he's like, oh, he's supposed to do this right now, but he's got no way to do it, so I'm just going to do it for him. Fucking awesome. Yeah, no, I thought the first episode was awesome. And fucking, dude, just Sylvie just working in McDonald's at the end is so funny.
Yeah, that was the only episode with a post-credit, right? Or am I tripping?
Yes. That was the only one with the post credit, and that's you find out where she ends up.
Yeah, because I remember I had texted you. I was like, hey, I was like, no spoilers, but post credit at the end of the first episode.
Yeah, and then I fast forwarded every episode to see if there was, and there never was another one. Yeah, I'm trying to, because you find out about the loom and everything, and dude, that shit looks fucking awesome.
Which the loom, or is what?
Yeah, like when they first show it, the visuals in the show were fucking great. Like this show compared to fucking Secret Invasion, it's like a different fucking studio.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I kept thinking about it every now and then. Like me and Ashton, I paused it during the first episode, and I was like, dude, Tom Hiddleston is acting his fucking ass off in this show.
I think, yeah, I was reading somewhere where we're saying, is this the like greatest MCU character of like the like new like generation post Endgame? And I was like, hey, shit, he might, because if I'm being honest, he's like holding this whole thing together. Yeah, obviously, and we'll get to what he's actually really holding on to. But like Loki was just like the thing that I've been like looking forward to for so long, and I felt like after watching the final episode, I walked away satisfied. I wasn't like bummed out or like just upset. I was just like, okay, that was awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm blown away, dude. We kept talking about how obviously seriously he takes the character of Loki. Like he's so committed to like this. He's giving this Shakespearean performance for this fucking comic book character. And I think everybody in the show really like wholeheartedly fucking plays that character so well. The girl from Lovecraft Country who plays Hunter B-52 or whatever, or B-15. She is so like she's one of the like in the whole show, she has like such a clear motivation. Always. She's just trying to do the right thing. And then when she finds out what they've been doing, like, I just love the whole, like, it really felt like the whole show. Like I've seen some people say like, oh, it's too short or like it's all plot. I think the plot, it's not that the plot is driving the characters, but the characters' motivations to like how they want to deal with the problems at hand, they make sense to like why the show goes the way it does. And it's very much like a problem solver kind of detective science fiction Doctor Who ass fucking show, dude. Like, if you don't like that kind of stuff, then I guess you might not like this. But like, it's about people being presented with impossible problems and trying to find like solutions to that problem, and every single time coming up short.
Yeah, and on top of like they're trying to wrap their head around that their whole life up until that point was probably a lie.
Yeah,
you know, like they were like kidnapped.
And who knows how long they've been doing this too?
Yeah,
like how long have they been in? And there's a big brain fucking thing I want to talk about at the end when we're done talking about it. But yeah, into the second episode when they have to confront the Hunter X5, the Brad character.
Oh, and he's at his movie premiere. Yeah.
Dude, when that chase scene is fucking awesome. They let fucking Tom Hiddleston go fucking Tom Cruise mode on that episode. He's running so much. It's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, and there was a in that episode there was a I'm pretty sure it was like a movie poster of Homeboy from the Eternals.
Of course there was.
Yeah,
they love sneaking that guy in there.
Yeah, because
Kingo, is that his name?
Yeah. If you go back in that episode, like you can see when they're at that premiere.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, when the fucking dark ass moment when Loki is interrogating him.
Oh, he's like got in that box.
And him and Mobius are trying to pretend, or Mobius is pretending like Loki's going rogue or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I love that it was just like a giant vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, well, they put him to the test and he cracked and he gave it up, which
dude, also the fucking sets in the show, man.
Yeah, I feel like I was just in love with and I think it was the third episode when they go with Renslayer and Miss Minutes when they go find Victor Timely. That was it's probably my favorite episode.
Back in time. Mm-hmm. That one's fucking awesome, dude. The scope and scale of the show, like the first season of Loki had a few episodes where you could tell like, oh shit, they built a big ass fucking set for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're working. This isn't all CGI. Like they actually like built a fucking set that the characters are all interacting with. And Timely's whole little town, that was like a real ass little.
Oh, dude, that was Chicago.
Well, I mean, but no, like his house and like all the houses around it, like that was a whole fucking like I mean, I'm sure a bunch of them are just like house facings, but like that was like an interactive set that they were running around and physically moving around. And it's just the extras too, dude. So many fucking extras in this show.
Yeah.
I appreciate that so much now that like Ashton, when she was working on films for like, a year or so last year when before she got into what she's doing now, like just the knowing like with film, like how much money is there when you have like a crowd of people. That's so crazy. It's just, I know now like what it takes to create that, and like I now appreciate it so much. That was one thing when we went and saw that QAnon Jim Caviezel movie, The Sound of Freedom or whatever. There were so many scenes where there's just no extras, and you can tell like, oh, they just had no money for this movie.
It's low budget.
This is so low budget. It's like middle of the day in like South America, and there's like nobody on the street, and it's like, well, this isn't realistic at all. Whatever though. But yeah, no, I just really thought the scope and scale of it was way impressive, especially coming out of fucking. I can't stress it enough. Coming out of Secret Invasion, this is a breath of fresh air.
Mm-hmm. And I did like, but also it was so stressful because remember when Loki was time slipping and trying to find someone that knew who he was, and just all the people that he knew just didn't know him until he got to Sylvie, and he was just so blown away. He's like, "Oh, you know me?" Because he was going to like his whole speech that he was about to try to convince her, but she's like, "Loki, I know who you are."
God, another thing that happens in the second episode, dude, when they're fucking killing all the timelines. That was fucking dark.
Yeah, because you got to think. It's
like war crime shit, dude. Just millions of lives being erased,
dude. It's universes getting destroyed.
Like, well, also, dude, when you find out what that looks like when you actually see what it looks like when like universes start disappearing, that is fucking violent, dude.
Yeah, but then it's like I get it. It's like I'm gonna try to be selfish. You know, we got to fight for our timeline, the sacred timeline.
Yeah, I guess, but who decides what's sacred, man? This fucking dark.
Well,
dude, I will say Miss Minutes black and white. When she went black and white, me and Ashton laughed so hard. That show was awesome.
Oh, she's like a good representation of what AI will be.
Yeah,
at some point.
Yeah,
you know,
at some point. Yeah,
yeah,
it'll be vindictive.
Yeah, because that part where, dude, because she totally stabs Renslayer in the back and convinces Timely to take her side, and then when they get to his place, she's like trying to like make a move on him, and she's going crazy. I was like, holy crap!
She's fucking psycho, dude. She's real crazy eyes energy. She's so cute though. I legitimately think I might get Miss Minutes tattooed on me.
That would be awesome. Yeah, her character looks awesome, but yeah, she's just, you got to keep an eye on her, because even in like it was the last episode when B-15
when they kill everybody.
No, when B-15 it was like towards like the very end, when B-15 was talking to Obi. I think it was Obi, and she was like, "Hey, is this safe?" He's like, "I don't know."
It's like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah, she's like, "Why did we boot her back up? She might kill us again."
That's what we do. That's what we do as human beings. We just fucking do shit like that. God, I'm trying to look right now. Dude, the fact that Victor Timely was a fucking con artist was awesome too.
Yeah, but it's so crazy to think that, right? They got told, hey, put this handbook through this window at this very specific time to set course, to try to fix everything, and he
just becomes a grifter.
Yeah, and I really like the chasing in that episode where he like kind of swindles those I don't know, those investors, and they're chasing him, and they take him to like the like Ferris wheel or whatever.
Dude, that Ferris wheel was fucking gnarly.
Yeah, and
the whole room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love that whole scene when Sylvie shows up and she's trying to kill Victor Timely, and Loki's fighting for him and basically preventing her from killing another King variant.
Yeah, like I saw, like, one of the things, I saw some guy complaining about this and saying like it's all plot, it's just plot, and like, no, there's like a lot of like conversations in this. There's a lot of like working out like the issues that people personally have with what's going on and free will, and what it means to like have authority, and what does authority mean to people when it imposes things on them that they didn't sign a social contract for, that they're just unwillingly born into. And I don't know, I thought a lot of that stuff was really cool. And yeah, it's just people who are complaining about this one, I'm like, dude, I get it. Like there are times to complain, and I don't think now is the time.
No, because you got to think, okay, big picture, they're trying to fix the entire this whole timeline thing, right? This multiverse thing, like there's some crazy shit going on. This is like very crucial, and there's these little sub stories, but I don't think it was like all plot. I thought it was, I didn't feel like the pacing was bad in any way. I felt like they, outside of episode 5, once I found out that it was like nuked, and that's why I was a little confused, and that made things make more sense. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, no, I thought it was perfectly fine. And also the fact that they were committed to 6 episodes before they started, like, this is fine for that. It could have been longer. Yeah, it could have been longer. I'll take these things. I'll take stories stretched out for as much as you're willing to stretch them out, because when you let these things breathe and you let these characters like live in the scenes, like have you seen Killers of the Flower Moon yet?
No, I've not.
Bro, it is so fucking good. But there's so many scenes in that movie where Scorsese just lets the characters like breathe with one another and like let scenes go long, and these conversations feel so real, and the dialogue is so, and there's so many like single shot like there's a whole scene where DiCaprio and God, the native woman who plays his wife in the movie, they have this like argument discussion while she's in the bed and he's like pacing around and like fuck, just on the edge of my seat, and it's just like they're just fucking arguing.
I'm not a fan of his films, if I'm being honest.
You're not a fan of DiCaprio at all?
No. Scorsese.
Oh, you're not a fan of Scorsese?
I think I only liked Wolf of Wall Street, right? He did that one, right?
Yeah,
but I watched the Irishman. That was like, come on, I could wasted my whole day watching that shit.
The Irishman's a bit long, but I'm trying to think of like what Scorsese movies do I stand by hard?
I'm not sure.
You don't like Goodfellas?
I think I watched it when I was younger.
Dude, Goodfellas rocks. Taxi Driver's good. Shutter Island, you don't like the Departed?
I never watched Shutter Island, but I watched The Departed. But no, it's just obviously I know he's well respected, but it's not for me.
Casino? I'm just going through right now.
No, you're fine. But yeah, I feel like the only one I'm like I would go back.
There's some I haven't seen. Like I've never seen The King of Comedy, which I know is what fucking Joker pulls a lot from. I've only seen Gangs of New York in bits and pieces. I've always wanted to revisit that though. But again, I mean, one thing I will say, if you don't like Scorsese and your issue is those movies are long, I'll give you that one.
No, it's not that it's long. Like I'm willing to watch Wolf of Wall Street again. Like I thought that was like awesome, but just everything else, I'm kind of like I saw.
Dude, Casino's fucking awesome. If you've never seen Casino,
I'll have to revisit it now that I'm an adult. I think a little different than when I watched it the first time.
Because also I'm curious because we're the same age, how much of his movies you might have seen on TV.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I feel like,
and that's a different experience. You got to see them, like you got to watch the film because it's all like the language is not translating onto the TV like it is if you're watching like the movie.
Yeah, but
especially also if you're getting like if you watch Casino on TV, a like 3.5 hour movie is now taking 5 hours to watch with commercial breaks.
Yeah, but I did see the trailer for his new movie and it did look interesting.
Dude, it's really fucking good. I really liked it. But I will say that if you don't like Scorsese, you might like it just because it is like such a different film. But like my thing with Scorsese that I like a lot is the way he does violence. It's very much. Did you watch Ozark?
Yes.
That's like where that stuff comes from, like that like abrupt shocking violence, like Breaking Bad too, like and also like having like a protagonist that like you kind of fucking don't like.
Walter White, I still hate that guy.
Yeah, like Scorsese really made like the protagonist that you fucking are like watching, you're like rooting for, and you're like, wait, no, this is the bad guy. Like I should be satisfied, but I should be hoping things come up short for this guy actually, because he's a violent fucking maniac, which I think translates terribly for some, especially like white disgruntled men in America who learn to glorify that violence and don't realize that these movies are like a condemnation of violence. But you know what, to each his own.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just so far Wolf of Wall Street too, but I gotta watch the new one.
You should revisit some of the other ones. If you've never seen Shutter Island too.
No, that's like the psychological one, right?
Yeah, Shutter Island fucking rocks.
Yeah, with DiCaprio's in that one too, right?
Yeah, he's in so many of them, dude. The Aviator's kind of boring, but I think it is like an important movie. But again, I don't think I've ever seen The Aviator not on TV, so I might be missing some things too.
All right.
I think that's Howard Hughes is the guy that The Aviator's about, and I think he's like I think it accurately just like showcases how messed up of a person he was. But I don't remember if it's like romanticizes his like mental illness, or if it like exploits it. I can't recall how they cover that, because I know they really go into his like final days pretty extensively. But yeah, well, back to Loki. I'm trying to think. Oh, dude, in episode 4, when you find out that Renslayer was there at the end of the war.
Okay, yeah. I'm not a fan.
Dirty.
I'm not a fan of her character.
She's bad.
Yeah, but also very confusing. At the very end with her. Because when we're like things are wrapping up and we're seeing like the final shots of every character, when it was her turn, I was like, I this makes zero sense to me.
I think she's in that land where that beast, I can't remember what the thing was called from the first
season. Okay, was that like that big purple glow that she's?
Yeah, I think that's what that was.
Okay.
Yeah, I think which we'll get around to that when we talk about the end of the episode. But that was pretty fucking dark when you find out that like he like used her basically to win the war, and then was just like, but ain't that like a person in power to just
but also like someone like him, was he just having fun toying with someone like that, just because he's probably seen so many different outcomes?
Yeah, again, I heard a theory for that and why he had to erase her brain. We'll get there when we're talking about the way the show ends. But yeah, I'm trying to fucking episode 4 is when is that when they kill them all?
Yes.
Yeah, that was fucking dark. Miss Minutes was like super excited to kill all those people.
Yeah, well, she's AI. She doesn't have real feelings. Is that rude to say?
Yeah. Oh, you know who I really liked in it? I really liked Homegirl, one of the leaders of the TBA, the one who's in the wheelchair.
Which one?
She's like the one, I don't know what, she's got some kind of a disability or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not going to diagnose somebody off of not knowing what their deal is, but she's in other shit too. But when she's wheeling around with B12 and she's talking about she's giving her the advice to like ask docs to like if she would help like with the TVA rather than, because she's like, I can't just keep them in prison forever. And then Miss Minutes and Renslayer come through and solve that problem by just killing them all. But when she's like thinking about before she goes and like talks to docs about like joining back up and saying like, we could really use you like in trying to make this place better. When she's wheeling around with her, telling her to like go to docs or whatever, she's like, do you really think she would change your mind? And she looks at her and she goes, I mean, you changed my mind. And my heart, I was like, oh, that's so sweet. I love when older characters are willing to change.
Yeah, I feel like the only time I ever kind of felt like a little emotional was when Mobius actually decides to go see, what his life was like before the TVA. And
so we're at I think is that episode 6. Or no, episode 5. That's the episode where he's time slipping and whatnot, and we see all that. Dude, I got emotional when Sylvie decides to not help, and she just goes to that record store. And I'm trying to think Velvet Underground. Oh Sweet Nothing is playing. And when it all starts disappearing, I got emotional watching that. Watching the shopkeeper like die in front of her.
He was trying to get her attention because she had the headphones on.
Yeah, I got emotional at that because it's just the idea of just like having your simple life that you just want to have so bad.
Yeah, but I feel like I hate her character, if I'm being honest.
Dude, I fucking love Sylvie. She's one of my favorite characters in the MCU.
I feel like she's so selfish.
Yeah, but why can't she be, dude?
Because
Loki's being selfish.
How?
She makes him admit it. That's the episode. Wait, she makes him admit it.
Which episode?
In episode 5, when he's trying to get the gang back together. And she's like, "What do you get out of this? What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" And he's like, "Because she's like, no, but why are you doing it?" And he finally says, "Because I want my friends back." And she's like, "There you go. You're selfish too." And I love that. I love that acknowledgement of like I had this on a Hardcore Troubadour. Me and Brian were talking about this the other day because I was talking about how my hopes and dreams for a better world where we all have more rights and more freedom and more ability to support ourselves and more free time to spend with each other and all this shit comes from a very selfish place. It's because I want that.
But
I want your life, Jamie, to be better.
Okay.
Because if your life is better, I believe my life might be better. It comes from a selfish fucking place. I get it that if I'm doing better, me and other people are doing better. But at the end of the day, the real reason is because I think I'm working too hard, and I think I should not have to.
Yeah, but Loki's selfishness isn't going to result in everyone dying. But Sylvie's selfishness, everybody dies. Isn't that worse?
I hate to break it to you, Jamie. Everybody dies already.
No. I'm talking about the timelines.
I know. But I'm saying, but as far as she knows, that's it. Because she doesn't know. Like, it takes her seeing that. Oh, everybody I do love and care about will be gone if I don't do this. It takes her seeing the gravity to understand that. Like, oh, I guess we do need to do something about it.
I would have been okay with her dying in that record shop. For her to make it back after that scene, I was like, man, she should. They could have been way further ahead of them trying to save everything, but now she's like, oh, the record store is gone, so I guess I might as well go join Loki and try to help.
Yeah, but you also got to think about it, dude. She got her whole fucking life taken away from her. She just wants some time for peace. It's such an understandable motivation for her.
But
she just wants to be able to chill out, dude. She spent her whole life in war zones and apocalypses.
Yeah, but the fact that she knows,
just wants to work at McDonald's.
No, for sure.
Break on her truck, her very cool truck.
But you can't have peace when Kang's alive, right? And she knows that. For her to try to ignore and want to kill every Kang variant, which is like, I get it, that's fine, but she can't.
Was ready to stop her life and kill that other Kang variant, but then when she looked at him, she was like, no, this one hasn't done anything wrong yet.
Yeah, but I feel like
again, that was growth. That was growth for her.
That was. But okay,
she could have killed him. No one could have stopped her from doing that. She had to stop herself.
If I was Loki, I'd kill Sylvie. She'd be long dead.
Well, he gets close.
Yeah, we'll talk about that whole fight scene.
But yeah, no, I thought the episode 5 was. It didn't seem too out of place for me, but now to know that they wanted more for it, that's sad that they got blocked on it. But yeah, no, I thought it was awesome. I thought seeing the backgrounds of all the characters and where they come from was super cool. I thought that was
because like
when you find out B12 was a doctor, I was like, yep, that tracks.
Yeah, he's just like time slipping in her like office.
Like she still wants to do no harm. Like that is her
yeah, she's trying to save people.
Yeah, it's that was really cool. I really liked that reveal that she was also I liked when you got to see the time periods they all come from.
Yeah, what about Obi? He was just trying to make it as a writer. They bullied him out of that bookshop, and I was like, God damn, he was just trying to...
Dude, that part was so sad.
Yeah, that was, man. Yeah, I felt so bad for him.
I mean, that's how science fiction writers be nowadays, I feel like. Just being huge dorks.
Yeah, but he was, it's like such an important part. Like when they go back to his place, and he's just such a nerd, and he's he built the the pad. I forgot what it's
The
called.
tent pad.
Yeah, when he built the tent pad from just having the TVA handbook. There's like, what, you did that already? And he's just like,
he's like, well, I don't know, 14 months is already, but
yeah,
he's like, I lost my job and I lost my wife.
That's crazy. Great character.
So fucking funny. Yeah, no, he rocked.
Yeah,
he was straight up awesome. I thought for a minute we were gonna see before they revealed that, which I really like how they didn't like hold your hand through a lot of the things, like the time slipping and telling you like where he is and what's going on where he is. Sometimes, like, other than that episode, they do give you like the timestamps of like what year they all are being like taken from.
mm-hmm.
But I like that they kept you just kind of guessing a lot of the time, like what was going to happen, rather than, you know, treating us like we're stupid. I think it was fun to be like in wonderment, I guess. But dude, when the time slipping moment that really fucking fucked both of us up, when he time slips and he's doing like, he's like waving his arms and the waving inflatable man is going off behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like imitating the movements of the wacky waving inflatable arm guy. That part really fucked me up.
There's the one scene where he was time slipping into one of the rooms, and he was sitting down, and then when he time slipped and he yelled like "hey," but then when the other Loki looked, like, you know, that one I was like, oh crap, because they showed it from one perspective, and then when they showed it from the perspective of the Loki sitting down, you're like, oh shit, like he's gonna time slip in right now and he's gonna miss it.
Dude, yeah, no, it was very cool. I really liked it. It was shot so well. Everything about it just visually looked so awesome, from the sets to the color schemes, everything that they used for the show. It really felt just a higher quality than some of the movies even recently have been.
Yeah, but you also got to think too, right? Loki, he's the only person that's kind of had this crazy redemption, because, you know, if you think back to original Loki,
multiple redemptions,
he's evil, he's straight up murdering people, you know, but somehow we've all, like, you know, he's been able to come back, and you know, he's had his redemption arc, and it's crazy.
One of the things that's Screen Crush channel, their video talking about it, was the great thing about Loki is that even though he's like, part of him coming from villain to being like not a villain is like, he actually has a genuine desire to be a better person. Yeah. And that's so evident through this season of this show in particular, because like they highlight it in the first season, like Loki's biggest fear is just being alone. Like, he does not want to be alone. Mm-hmm. And through that first season, he literally makes like one of his first friends.
Well, yeah, he had a good group. He was willing to go through so much to you know, get the band back together. But
like, he made his first friend, like, it wasn't his brother. There wasn't like made to be bonded with him. Mm-hmm. Like, he actually created a bond. And I think that's so, I don't know. I think that's so relatable, because like everybody can remember like their first friend and their first person who, like,
really, I can't.
You can't remember your first friend?
No.
Javier Whitehead, my first friend I made in kindergarten. He also gave me chicken pox.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. I ran into him at the gym like maybe 10 years ago, and he still looked exactly the same as he did when we were in.
That's crazy.
It was wild.
Did you talk to him?
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, I went to that gym for a little, or I went to that YMCA with my dad a few times, and I would run into him and catch up with him. He works for UPS, or he did then. Mm-hmm. So hope he's doing well.
Dude, bring him out to a show. Show him what you've been up to.
I did talk to him about that kind of shit, and he was just like, "Man, that's crazy." It's like, yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, that's probably has no idea.
No, he has no idea. But yeah, on to the last episode. Dude, all of the fucking him having to relive the same fucking shit over and over again.
Yeah, well, because at the end of episode 5, he mentions that he mastered time slipping, which I'm kind of like, oh, yeah. All right, just like that.
Well, no, dude, when Obi is telling him, he's like, science is what and how, and he's like, in science fiction is what and how and why.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he figures out time slipping, the real answer is who. And it's, you're thinking about, like, the way he masters is he's thinking about the people he cares about. And that's what allows him to do it. And that's how he pinpoints where he's going, is by thinking about who he's going to, which I thought that was so sweet.
It gets so complicated. So I'm like, what if he's thinking the wrong, you know, because there's so many different timelines. How does he know if he's thinking the right one? I don't know.
Just vibes, dude.
Just vibes. Okay.
This is vibes-based science fiction.
Okay.
We're going on.
All right.
But yeah, no, that was awesome. But dude, when they're going through like the Groundhog Day shit, where like he keeps going back and trying to figure out like, well, how can we do this faster? And like all the ways he tries to make it faster, and you're just like, listen, I see how much time's left in this episode. This is certainly not the solution, but it's really funny to watch him think this was going to be it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did like when you know, they finally got it, where like Victor Timely was out there, which I didn't think that they actually got it, because you know, he like hit the green button and he hits it, nothing happens.
They fuck. He goes, no, it sticks a little bit. You got to hit it again.
Yeah.
But all those little things were so funny, because it was clearly that this had happened before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was so funny. Like, everything that Loki was saying, like, Tom Hiddleston just has such good comedic timing, dude. Because like every way of like him explaining himself when everyone's just trying to figure out how he knows all of this stuff. It's so funny. It's so funny, from the model to him just like going through all the introductions and people being like what, how did you know I was going to say that? Like, all that shit was so funny. And just, I don't know, when he looks at him, he's like, how long will it take you to teach me everything you know? And he's like, centuries. It's like centuries later. Awesome. It was fucking awesome.
But I did feel kind of defeated once everything, you know, they finally made it through the whole process. Yeah. And then Victor Timely kind of explains, like, oh no, this is never going to work.
This was never going to work.
Yeah, because this is just like a scaling problem.
Yeah, and Loki had just wasted literally centuries of time.
Yeah.
To learn nothing. Dude, but yeah, no, when he goes back and he has that whole toil over killing whether or not he's gonna have to kill Sylvie or not.
Yeah, because they go back to the Citadel and he's just,
he fucking rocks.
Yeah, because he time slips right when she was about to kill Kang, and then he's just like, don't do it. And then it's just so great because Kang's just there and he's just enjoying the show.
Yeah, dude, that part where he looks at him and he goes, why do you never try to stop her? Mm-hmm. And Kang stops time and he goes, wait a second, how many times have you done this? And he goes, how did you do that? And he goes, wait, you haven't figured out how to stop time yet?
Mm-hmm. And
then they have that conversation, and then something happens and Loki stops time and goes, what makes you think this is the first time we've had this conversation? And like really fucks Kang up, because he's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That part fucking ruled, dude. The look on his face when that happens, the look that Loki gives him, and then Kang's response to it is so fucking good, dude. It's just a really fucking good story, dude. Just well written, mm-hmm. well performed. Everything about it was, I was perfectly pleased with this.
Yeah, I feel like in that Citadel fight, I would have caved and let Kang poison my mind, and I would have killed Sylvie right then and there.
I know you would have, because you're the darkest. You're darker than me.
But, well, I got to think of the greater, picture, the big picture for everybody, not just me.
I know you'd kill him. You'd kill baby Hitler. It's fine.
Yeah.
I couldn't, but I can't disagree with your decision to do so.
But there was okay, but then it clicks in Loki's head. He's like, oh, okay. He's like, I know.
I'll just destroy it.
Yeah, he's like, I know how I'm going to fix this. And then I didn't catch it when I watched the episode. I was watching a New Rockstars breakdown, and the final words that he says to Sylvie, and who else was there, and Mobius, was like a direct quote from Thor, from what he was saying to his dad, like before he slipped away. Yeah, when he says "for you, for all of us," like that was like a direct like pull from Thor. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, so like once I found that out, and I was just thinking about it, I'm like, oh, God, because that's it, right? That's what he says to them. And then he goes off, and shit, it was like such a good send off. It was just insane.
Dude, that fucking rocks. That scene is so fucking emotional, dude.
Yeah, but it's also this crazy moment too, because we're like watching him, right? He realizes what he has to do, but then you kind of realize we're watching him just kind of level up and get like so much more powerful. And I was like just blown away. I'm like, how is he doing this? We just watched Victor Timely melt so many times just trying to walk out there, right, in a suit, but to see Loki be able to go out there and just
he's a god, dude.
Yeah, and I was always like so confused because I was like Loki's a god, but there's like all this like talk of like he was a lowercase g god, but now he's like a capital G god. I'm like, I didn't know there was a difference.
Dude, watching his clothes rip away and the classic Loki costume.
I just loved when like all like the timelines were like making his cape. When he was like walking through, I was like, oh, this looks so fucking badass.
Yeah, Ashton noticed that before I did. She was like, oh my God, it's like his cape is all the fucking vines or whatever. God, that looked so fucking cool, dude. It was just so awesome watching him walk up the fucking stairs. Me and Ashton were fucking just jaw fucking dropped at how just awesome it was. And dude, I just like all the arc of Loki's story, just he wants power, he wants to be king, he feels like he's owed it. But the way he gets the most power he's ever had is he doesn't even want it, but he has to.
Yeah, because
he gives up everything for it.
He gives up himself to save everybody.
Everybody. Yeah. It's so crazy, dude. Oh my God, dude. When he sits in that throne and just the look of he isn't happy, but he's content.
Yeah, because he knows what he's doing is gonna enable like the people that he cares about to be able to.
Oh my God, dude, what a fucking ending!
And okay, and I thought it was awesome, but then this is where we got to start breaking things down, because he's like the god of stories. He's is he as powerful as King? Because I was watching New Rockstars, and they were talking about this is one way they could write off Kang, is that okay?
Loki can prevent Kang from even existing.
Yeah, or he can even battle him because he's in control of all the timelines.
So the breakdown of theory I heard that the Screen Crush guy gave that I think is fucking nuts is that this whole Loki story is another Ouroboros time loop. That Loki becomes the god of time and stories, is the master of time and holding all the timelines, and that frees up so that there are a billion timelines, and in those billion timelines a Kang grows. The multiversal war happens. At the end of the multiversal war, it ends with Kang at the end of time finding Loki, defeating Loki, reharnessing time for himself, getting bored, deciding he's done with it, and he wants to be reincarnated. So he sets in motion a way for Loki to end up at the end of time to take his place, because Loki's the person he knows can do it, because he found him at the end of time after the multiversal war, in which he's killed. And then Loki sets it all over again. and they're just in this endless thing. And the one of the things he said was, he was like, at the end of Kang Dynasty, it would be insane if what Kang Dynasty is the multiversal war that Kang fought in already and ended with him creating the TVA and everything. But this time when they defeat all the Kangs, and that Kang goes to the end of time to start it all over again, Thor follows him.
Interesting.
And to see them get reunited, and Thor look at his brother who's been dead.
He's not dead.
His brother's dead to him.
Oh yeah, to him, but he's out here, he's holding everything together.
But that's the thing, is for him to look at his brother, who, you know, he had this, you know, relationship with, this whole thing, because also it's a curiosity of whether or not, like, what happened with Thanos possibly has created a branch timeline that's never happened before in this loop.
Okay.
And I don't know, just the idea of them reuniting, and Thor looking at his brother and realizing his brother's been what's holding everything together is that would be so emotional, and I would just love that. And I would also love if Thor could start the next story he has not being a complete jackass at the beginning.
I was watching New Rockstars breakdown, and what they're speculating is maybe there's going to be obviously a war, but one side is going to be Team Kang for no multiverse, and then Team Loki where there is a multiverse.
Ooh. So the Renslayer thing, at the end, she's at the end of time still. So there's the theory of also why he has to erase her memory is because she will always remember meeting Kang and helping him win. So if he doesn't erase her memory and cause her to think she's just working in the TVA for the Time Masters and all this stuff, she'll remember that he's actually not as strong as people believe him to be.
Yeah, because he's made out to be this, like, you know,
this god.
Yeah. And
also, she would have a memory of the war. And he doesn't want anyone, in order to stay in power, you need to convince people you're not there. I mean, it's the same. It's the fucking deep state in you know, world governments. It's the
Illuminati, bro.
Not the Illuminati. Well, it's just all the rich people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the idea that all the rich people act like there's politicians who we can blame for our problems, when in reality it's just fucking ExxonMobil.
BlackRock. I probably shouldn't say that on here. We're gonna get got.
Fuck them, dude. God damn it, dude. Kill your fucking landlord. Especially if it's a company. But yeah, no, I think that's just it's incredibly smart on his end to make himself anonymous and create a system that just runs efficiently without him even needing to hand orders down. But yeah, dude, just the fact that it ends with him in control of all the time, and he makes him into goddamn Yggdrasil. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, there's this shot it was from the first Avengers where, like, I can't remember who's holding the Tesseract, but behind him on the wall it's like a giant Yggdrasil tree.
Really?
Yeah, and she's like, what the hell? They've been planning this, like,
fuck them, dude.
Yeah.
So often I see shit from, like, where they, like, call back to something in, like, a previous Marvel movie, and I just think, I'm like, they just photoshopped that in later. There's no way they could have known.
Okay, but before we get too deep with Kang, there's obviously this, you know, talk of that's it, because we could live in a world where we just saw the end of Kang, right? Because if you really think about it, Kang hasn't really made an impact outside of Loki or Quantumania. So there's
when the mention of Quantumania rocks.
Mm-hmm.
When she's like, have any of them figured out that the TVA exists? And she's like, no. And he's like, there was one that stirred up some trouble on 616 Adjacent World, but they handled it, so we're good.
Mm-hmm.
that was the best. That is the way of tying these stories together that I want.
Okay.
Just in passing.
Yeah, they didn't have to like make it like a big focal point. They just like if you
you have a brilliant idea of how to collaborate stories, go for it. If you don't.
Okay, but I want to know. So there's a chance that could be it for King because of what's going on with Jonathan Majors, and he's going to have to go to trial, for his case. Do you want to see Marvel have his back and follow this King thing through, or do you want them to go in the direction where they're trying to push in Doctor Doom?
I'll still go. I would really like to see what they had planned, though.
Mm-hmm.
I would really like to see this play itself out. I hope whatever this whole drama is with him is as shitty as it sounds on the cops' end and the accuser's end. I haven't kept up with it too much, except for hearing about the footage of her at the club.
Oh, they went to court and she didn't show up. Her mom showed up and was like, "Yo, like my daughter fled the country," but they didn't want to throw out the case. Like, no, like we're gonna follow through with the trial. But she didn't even show up.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah,
that's fucking wild. I haven't really kept up with it other than I listened to like one update at one point where it talked about how like the cops, when they showed up and she would like, cause she woke up in a closet or whatever and she was hurt and when they showed up, they'd never heard of Jonathan Majors, but they were walking around this nice ass apartment and like the way the person who was covering it was making it seem, I think it was just like a TikTok Ashton showed me, was like, New York City police show up at a black man's apartment that they've never heard of and see all his nice things and think, maybe we'll get this girl to like point a finger or whatever. And it's like, not like the police in America aren't capable of doing that shit. They've literally been doing it for like their entire existence. So, yeah, I don't know. I really hope it's that. I really hope it is that shitty and our government and police force sucks that much. And it isn't that he sucks because damn it, dude, I really, really like his movies and TV shows.
Yeah, for sure. It
would be nice. It would be nice to be wrong about an actor for once and then not be a fucking monster.
Yeah, well, I feel like, you think of Johnny Depp, obviously, he's a little crazy, but the way he almost got his whole career ruined, that was insane.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Depp's not amazing, but
yeah, no, for sure, but it's just kind of like girl says he did this, but came out.
Yeah, and I think like I think it's discounted a lot, especially in like fucking Johnny Depp's case. Like that dude has been in the public eye for so fucking long.
Well, not even the public eye. He's been super fucking famous for so fucking long,
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's been super fucking famous for so fucking long. Like Nightmare on Elm Street was so long ago.
Yeah, it was on VHS.
And that was his first movie. Like that was so long ago that he's been prominently like famous and in the public eye and had lots of problems with substances ever since then because everybody of his generation was fucked up. So many of them didn't live.
Yeah, but it blows my mind that in that whole situation he got screwed over like with like his roles and stuff, and Amber Heard's still an Aquaman.
I heard that. Was it you who, I can't remember, somebody told me that I think a lot of her scenes are getting taken out of the movie actually.
Yeah, I think James Wan is he's hip to what's going on, and
yeah.
But honestly, I feel like it's like that movie.
I heard she's being mostly edited out of the movie. She's in one scene of the trailer.
Good. She doesn't deserve shit, man. That's like that's not right to lie and to try to ruin somebody's life.
Yeah, it also makes it harder for other women to be believed.
100%. That's why like I'm never like quick to like take anybody's side. I'm just like, hey, like I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm just gonna mind my own business. Hopefully, shit can get figured out. Because I'm not gonna jump to victim blaming or just wanting to pick a side. It's like no. It's like I'm just gonna like I said, just doesn't involve me. I'm gonna mind my own business.
Yeah, like when somebody's like I mean, I fucking hate that. I hate how many Kevin Spacey movies I love. Because
isn't he innocent?
Oh no!
Yeah, I thought he just won in court in London. They said he was innocent.
You're aware that Kevin Spacey is like incredibly connected to like the crown and whatnot, right? If anywhere is going to find him innocent, it's going to be there because he's friends with Prince Andrew. I'm
trolling, I know.
Okay, I was gonna say, I
no, it's crazy.
Was he really found innocent?
Yeah, no, for sure, 100%. Like
that's crazy.
Yeah,
didn't like two or three of his accusers wound up dead?
He went full Frank Underwood on them. Yes,
that's so crazy.
Yeah, hold on. And now I have to look this up because
I mean, he didn't do it; somebody else did it.
Oh, 100%.
Him quiet. Did you ever see that weird video he made where he's holding the mug that like he got at like the Queen's coronation or whatever?
Okay, wait, hold on real quick. So this is back in July. Kevin Spacey is acquitted of sexual assault charges in UK trial. A jury in London deliberated for more than 12 hours and cleared him. But, sketchy.
Cool. Yeah, it's super sketchy. I think at least two of them ended up dead, right?
Yeah, but that was here in the States, right? For like one of his... Yeah. But it's like, yeah, he definitely got them killed. Like there's yes. It's so obvious, but what can you do? It's scary.
It's very terrifying.
Yeah. But obviously, yeah, that kind of stuff. And that sucks too. That people have to go through that in Hollywood when they're just trying to, follow their passion, what they want to do, but then they encounter situations like that where they have to, be around these like nasty people and it sucks too that especially when they're able to do it for so long and they can get away with it, and it's just like it's whack.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's it's fucking like Skull and Bones society. It's like everybody's got to like jack off on the fucking skeleton in the fucking corpse so that everybody knows that person did it, so they can hold them over it forever. And that's how these power structures stay together. But I don't know. It's like it's so crazy that like for years and years and years with like Harvey Weinstein, like you had to put up with that because in order to like play the game, you had to like deal with this guy being like a fucking creep. But it's really nice that like I think with like social media, if there's one good thing social media has done, it's made that shit harder.
Yeah.
But there's not many good things in social media has done, but that's one of them.
They could kill Epstein and sweep it under the rug and everybody's okay.
That shit. I hate that so much.
Yeah. And what's her name? Ghislaine, got sentenced, but everybody's like, where's the list of people that they were having over?
Where are those tapes? There were tapes.
It's crazy. See, that kind of stuff is just, it's so dark.
It's so dark. The dude who is Acosta, the guy who gave him that sweetheart deal in Florida, was like part of the Trump administration too, until it got like exposed that he was the guy who gave Epstein that sweetheart deal, and then he had to vacate whatever position he is. Like all this glad handing shit, dude. We will never be one of them.
No.
These sickos, dude. Just legitimately wealth caps. Let's just wealth cap everybody. You can only have this much money, and then that way nobody has that much power.
Yeah, but then I feel like people are gonna want to do shit.
What do you mean?
You think people who are making crazy money are gonna want to work as hard if they know they're gonna get wealth capped?
Yeah, so then they don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's gonna get lazy.
No, nobody's gonna get lazy. I'm still gonna work just as well. No, because we'll all have more money. If they have less money, then we can redistribute that well. Do you think Elon Musk works that hard?
Yeah, 100%.
I know you're trolling me now, you motherfucker.
Dude, are you all the companies?
These motherfuckers work? They've never worked. That's the thing. None of these, no boss works harder than their workers.
Dude, he's working on. He's taking us to Mars, bro.
Dude, that shit is so fucking stupid.
Yeah, the one thing that you can't fool me with is when he sent that Tesla to space. And like, that shit is so fake. And his excuse was, it's so real, it looks fake. And I'm like, no, motherfucker, that shit is fake. That shit never went to space.
They really did shoot that Tesla truck with a machine gun.
Yeah, no, I can believe that. But when
then he bragged. He's like, look at how well it held up against machine gun fire. And it's like, where do you think people are driving their cars?
Well, certain danger spots might benefit from it, but I don't know.
He bragged. He's like, this truck can crash with minimal damage, and it's like, the point of the way a car crashes is like to save your life. He's like missed the point of car safety. It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, these people don't know what they're doing. These people aren't good at their jobs. They should make less money. We'll stop.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I don't know where, because I feel like at the rate we're going, it's like, man, shit's so expensive. Just the cost of living is like, geez.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. The fact that these people like are allowed to do this shit and without being reined in, like, I mean, dude, like my the thing I really liked, to bring it back to this Loki show, I think the overall message of the Loki show is so cool and transgressive in a way. It's that in an authoritarian system where you aren't allowed free will or freedom to make your own choices, what you can do, because every system was made by people, is you can tear that system down and you can start and build something else. Because everything that we do, that we are doing and have done, we as human beings made this whole thing so we could make it better. We could stop it and we could do it different. Everybody wants to complain about the Supreme Court and all the terrible decisions they're making. They're taking people's rights away. How about we just decide the Supreme Court doesn't, like, we just should stop it and figure it out again. Just all these things that we look at a constitution that was written by a bunch of racists and slaveholders. Just tear it up. Start over. Write something for modern day. Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, as problematic as he is now, even though he falls on the right side of some things lately. One of my favorite Chappelle skits was the taking a machine gun to the signing of the Constitution and showing them what that is. Showing them an Uzi and being like, look at this. This is what the Second Amendment is, actually. And they go, whoa, we're taking that right out.
We're going to all end up with a social credit score. That's going to...
No.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Well, at the rate we're going, we are.
No, the rate we're going, we're not going to end up like they are in China.
No, dude, we're going to end up worse.
No.
You seen the Project 2025 shit? We're about to not have any rights.
Bro. Mark Zuckerberg is not going to let that happen.
Trump will be president again.
Oh, I think he will be. I'm
Trump
not in denial.
President again, and it's going to be very bad. It's going to be very bad. I mean, legitimately, like, the fact that I even have fucking communist hand tattoos is something that I think I might have made a fucking stupid decision 2 years ago by doing that, because I legitimately think, like, there's a chance, like, even being in a union could become illegal in my lifetime. Like it's crazy the shit that they want to do, that Stephen Miller wants to do, as far as, the greatest deportation of illegal immigrants, and the things that they're talking about doing is like straight up Hitlerian. Trump's quoted Hitler on multiple occasions in like the last week.
Really? Wait, I'm not on Truth Social, so I haven't seen any of it.
No, he did it at rallies. He did it on Veterans Day.
Oh, okay. Oh, I did see Lil Pump was at one of his rallies.
People are so fucking stupid, dude. People are so fucking stupid. Literally, everyone's tying their own fucking nooses.
Well, yeah. What was that Russian guy who like predicted all this? He's just like, you want to, take him out. He's like, you do it from the inside. You do it, you got to break him down socially. It's not, with war.
Is that Surkov?
I think so. I gotta find that quote.
The Russian propopagandist?
Yeah.
Possibly?
Yeah, he breaks it down, and it's exactly what's going on today, which is just
I can't remember what the word is for like that level of like psychological warfare you wage on somebody. But yeah, I mean, no, dude, that's where we're at. It's crazy.
It's like they got us.
It's crazy, and they're all fucking clowns, dude. They're all fucking clowns. Like, it sucks. Like, dude, what's fucking going on in fucking Gaza right now? Like, Biden's gonna lose because of this. Because he won't take a stand on it. He's gonna fucking lose.
Yeah. It's
like he's gonna lose all those swing states because all 40% of the Muslim vote is saying they're gonna vote for Trump right now. Who will ban their relatives from coming to America. And you can't blame them for it, because what the fuck's their alternative? Vote for Biden?
Yeah.
Who's just tacitly letting fucking, atrocities be made with American bombs? I don't know. It's
yeah, but they're giving them all this money, but ignoring Maui.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right. I think we gotta get our priorities in order.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I don't think we should be giving weapons to a country that has universal health care until we do.
Yeah. We live in such a weird country. Like, it is, as good as it can be. I feel like there's so many just like glaring issues that's been going on, but it's like they clearly can fix this country, but they don't want to.
No, it's working for them. And it's working for their donors.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, they don't want to, fix those issues and make the country better. I feel like they like kind of dangling this carrot.
I saw something the other day that made me excited, because I think mine will go up at the same time too. I think the one we're currently in ends in 2028. But Sean Fain, the UAW president,
okay.
He made a public public statement recently, suggesting that all unions negotiating contracts negotiate your contracts to end in 2028. Basically setting it up so that when renegotiations have to happen in 2028, they can all line up. So if we're in a terrible situation politically, economically at the time, there can be like a united front of unions going on strike at the same time to basically force the power elite in our country to reckon with what they've done. Because at the end of the day, if all those unions spend that much time preparing with strike funds, with all the things that help take care of us while we, are on the picket or marching or doing all the things that we would have to do to, shut down the economy in ways that we could, we won't suffer. They will.
Yeah. And if
every day until then, we're the ones who suffer.
Yeah. Because more recently, if you look at what UPS, what they did, and then even with like SAG, right? Like they were out for a long time, and they stood their ground and
they got what they were asking for.
And I think they deserve it too,
Yes, absolutely, dude. You can't justify these profits without sharing them. You can't anymore. People are getting wise.
Yeah, and it's like these, and like in their industry, like the kind of profits that they're bringing in, it's like how could they not want to share it, because it's so much. The numbers are so high. It's crazy that they would have to go that far to fight to get their share of the pie when it's like they more than deserve it.
Absolutely. I don't know. I wish people had more of these conversations at shows. I wish I heard more of this shit on stage. I wish I wasn't one of the only people I ever hear talk about this.
well, not everyone's there to kind of use their platform in a way
not
like
to
that.
say like I'm so great.
No, for sure. No, I definitely understand what you're saying, because yeah, like 9 times out of 10 you go to a show, it's just like people don't know what to say. It's just like, it's like,
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's also everything's on fucking video, everything's on camera, everybody's afraid to say the wrong thing. I fucking certainly know how fucking stressed out my band is that they don't know what I'm gonna fucking talk about on stage. But yeah, I don't know. I wish these conversations happen, and I wish these conversations happened enough that kids felt like challenged, or at least like felt okay to be like wrong about things too. Because I think that's another thing that like should be talked about. Like I saw a video on YouTube today. Actually, it was like someone reposting a video that somebody made on TikTok of them like fucking up in the gym and being like, it's okay to fuck up. It's like make mistakes at the gym. And I think that's like, and they were like, thank you for like posting this, because like some people are so afraid to like look stupid in public. And it's like, I think that should be reinforced. Like we can look stupid in public. Moshing is very stupid. I do it all the time. I'm not afraid to look stupid in public. Like, I moshing to 2 witnesses the other day. Somebody stepped on my shoe and I just 2-stepped right out of my shoe. It was funny. I picked my shoe up and put it back on. I wasn't embarrassed. I wasn't like, oh God, I'm not moshing the rest of the night. Like being wrong or being silly or being goofy or, not knowing something shouldn't prevent you from saying how you feel. And if somebody says like, oh well, that's not right, be willing to hear them. But
be able to have a discussion without it getting heated, just trying to understand someone else's point of view, right? Because like,
and don't be afraid to be wrong. Don't be afraid to be wrong. Be willing to learn.
I say it on here all the time. Like I don't know everything, and I'm okay with learning. Like if I have a question, or if I don't know a band, or if I just in my life in general, but if I don't know something, I'll go and try to seek the answers, or ask somebody who knows about that particular subject, or who might have the answers. That's like what I have been like okay with. Like even saying it publicly, like like I don't know everything, I'm not perfect, I'm just I am who I am, and I feel like I'm constantly growing. Like I'm never at a point where like I
should be
100%, because I like you're never going to know everything, right? The world's changing, everything's constantly moving, so it's just like
I was listening to a podcast the other day about like fraud memoirs, and they were talking about a child called It, which I was made to read in school, and didn't learn until like 5 years ago that book's just completely made up.
Oh, it's supposed to be like a true story?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a true story. I had no idea. It was just completely made up until like 5 years ago. And like I realized, I'm like, oh my God, like so many things I learned in school were just like people like off of what they knew at the time telling me something, and then just being like so wrong. And the fact that so many people stop having like a curious mind or learning anything once they leave school means that they possibly stop learning at a time when everything they learned was wrong.
Yeah, that reminds me. So I just watched Interstellar for the first time, which
sick.
Yeah, because I saw like one clip on like TikTok, and I was like, oh shit, that I didn't know like that goes on in that movie. I gotta check it out. But there's like this.
Did you cry?
No.
Dude, that one makes me cry every time.
No. There were some emotional parts. When I hated when the daughter, I forget her name, when she was trying to convince her. Murph, when she's trying to convince her brother and his family, like, hey, like we gotta go, and he's just like, no, like we're staying here, and it's like, dude, you're gonna kill your family. But anyways, there was this scene where the main character, the dad, had to go to the parent teacher conference for Murph, and they were talking about how like she was telling the kids about the moon landing, and they're like, yeah, no, we're trying to let everyone know that didn't really happen. It was propaganda. And I was just dying, because I'm like, yeah, that's so funny because they live in a world where it's like, okay, the truth was finally revealed and it's okay. And now they're like, changing what they're actually teaching like these kids. And I was like, okay, that's hilarious.
Yeah, no, dude, like, I don't know. It's just crazy, especially considering we're going to like return to a time where like kids are taught even more lies in school. Like kids are just handed a tablet with a PragerU video that's going to tell them how great America is and how like we didn't, how we were actually nice to the natives and shit. And it's like, I don't know. It's fucking scary, dude. It's really fucking scary.
Yeah, but I feel like these days, like I feel like if I was in high school today, I feel like I would be like way more problematic because of the internet. I feel like I would participate more because I'd want to ask questions.
Well, and that's my hope. My hope is that my hope is that the brainwashing of elementary and middle schoolers will create more insane radical teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I keep saying it, like my main, the only hope I think we have in this country for like to get like Live Nation away from having a stranglehold on like how we do punk shows is for every kid who's under the age of 18 going to shows to commit more crimes, like excessive amounts of crimes, breaking windows, spray painting, like not even like stealing things, but just like destroying things that are of value, like walking into like a Gap and like throwing a like dumping some gasoline on a shirt hanger, like on a shirt rack, and just lighting it on fire, like and leaving. Like that is the kind of shit that needs to be done in order for like, because this is the issue I have with like the skate park in Louisville. It used to be 24 hours and it's not anymore.
Oh wow.
Because it's the only 24-hour outdoor space in the city, meaning that you have people from all different economic, cultural, and race backgrounds congregating in the same place. And they're all hormonal. Some of them are drunk. Some of them have weapons. Like, so you've got shootings going on, you've got fights going on all the time at the skate park because it's the only congregation point, because it's the only place for everyone to go, because it's the only one. Whereas if you had, local parks or community centers that were open all night, that were there for kids who don't have a place to sleep that night, because I can remember how many times when I was a kid, I was very lucky to have a friend's house I could just go to and crash at when I had inevitably spent all night hanging out with people who I could not go crash at their houses. Meaning I'd be out till 3 a.m. and sometimes it would be cold, and I had left earlier and it was 60 or 70 degrees, and now it's fucking 40 or 30 and I don't have a hoodie and I'm walking and I've got no phone and I've got nowhere to go. And I am a kid who had parents and a house, but I would be so afraid to tell them that I had been out. It would have been really nice to have somewhere I could just go and say like, hey, I just don't have anywhere to be right now. And it was in communities where like, you can go and be safe, but there's not that. We don't have those places. But if enough kids committed enough crimes that this country as a whole, we're like, we got to do something for these kids. We got to create these community spaces again, because not everybody can afford indoor soccer. Not everybody can afford to go to laser tag. Not everybody can afford the trampoline park all the time. To give people a place to go where they can actually build community and have spaces. And you know what we could probably do at those spaces? Fucking hardcore shows. And that would be awesome.
100%. Yeah. I've been having awesome
to have a public funding of the arts in this country. It would be great.
Yeah.
The kids got to commit those crimes. It's like kill a celebrity.
Shout out Ramallo.
Commit more crimes. Kill a celebrity.
Dude, hey, come to California. You can steal up to $900 and you'll be good. You ain't going to jail. You'll just get some loot, go home. It's crazy. There's literally a Walgreens, like in Santa Ana, and I was in there and I just watched these kids just steal a bunch of stuff. And I was talking to the store manager and he was like, hey, we're just instructed to just let them go. We just got to note, when the robbery happened, and then corporate just takes care of it. And I'm just like, that's insane. I was like, so why am I paying for this stuff? I could just walk out. This is nowhere near $900. This is crazy.
Well, that's the thing. And that's, there's like a whole like fucking folly in that too, where like, there's like this right-wing reactionary idea that like the reason why prices go up is because of theft, but there's so much like legal and insurance and like things to offset that theft that never results in a price increase, because they can write off theft as like something that was like an uncontrollable loss and things like that. So they have all these things to like escape from that profit loss and that cost loss of when theft happens. They have, I mean, the amount of money that so many companies spend on loss prevention almost out, like more often than not, outweighs. It's Michael Parenti, the fucking, I don't even know what you call him, fucking socialist thinker or whatever, on the Choking Victim record, has the sound clip where he talks about how the cost of the cops in dealing with bank robberies is almost always more than what was taken from the bank. And that's fucking true. Like the amount of money these places spend to deal with the loss of theft is never like, it never matches up, and it never ends in a price increase. The only thing that ends in a price increase is, you know, supply chain cost of product going up and whatnot. And most of the time, the reason cost of product goes up is because of greed.
Yeah, 100%. The market was insane.
It's greed. It's greed almost all the time. Like it's greed according to, and I fucking am careful not to say it anymore. It's greed according to the CFO of the company I work for, because they said it even in an interview over COVID. He said, "Well, we raised the price because we could, not because we needed to, because we could." During COVID, they raised the prices because they could.
Yeah,
because people would justify it. People could rationalize it being more expensive because of the shipping containers getting locked up in the fucking canal, and
but also the desperation of wanting, just because of the fear of, oh shit, we're actually going to be trapped up in our houses. Like we need these supplies to be able to survive if that actually happens. And
dude, it fucks me up. Sometimes I accidentally put things in the wrong place when I'm stocking at work, because I'll be stocking something and I'll be like, oh, it goes here. And then I realize I'm like, oh no, I just put it there because I thought that was like the reasonable price. But actually, the small bag costs as much as the big bag used to. And now this goes here, and the big bag is like even more expensive.
Yeah, it's, I always laugh when people post those memes about the price of a McChicken today. It's just like, holy shit. It's insane. Yeah,
it's fucking crazy. And that was the big thing when they were the fight for 15, that they were pushed back and be like, oh, if McDonald's pays $15 an hour, like then the Big Mac's going to cost this much. It's like, no, McDonald's makes so much money, they can afford to pay people $15 an hour.
They just don't want to.
They're already going to the kiosks so they can have less people working here. They can obviously just pay less people more. Like that's the big, I don't know. Social safety net, public funding of the arts, demands we need to be making, man, in the richest country in the world. Like, fuck it, dude. Wealth cap, dude. I'm telling you, it won't make people lazy.
Well, are they testing out UBI in some places right now?
I mean, in other countries they are.
No. I thought here in the States they're rolling out a program to test out, like,
where at?
Oh, I have to look this up because I just saw this, like, not too long ago.
I know they're starting to test out 32-hour weeks at some places, which I'm fucking for. That would be awesome. I'm still gonna work 40, but god damn it, I won't have to work 50.
Dude, Korea. What about Korea? They're trying to push for a 69-hour work week.
69?
Yeah. Like they did like a big poll on like if people were for it, and like I think like it was like maybe like almost like 40% of people were for it, and I'm like, that's insane.
That is psychotic, dude. That's not life.
No.
That's like fucking 996 shit that China's on. That's fucking horrifying.
Trying to, I can't remember where I like watched this interview. This guy was talking about that they were testing it. I'll have to find this later because I don't know where I saw it.
Dude, that would be fucking awesome. But you when you do a UBI and shit like that, though, you then have to like, it doesn't work just like during COVID when they did the rent, supplement shit. It doesn't work unless you rein in the landlords and you rein in the companies to not just raise their prices or raise their rent because people are all of a sudden making more money, because that's what they will do. If all of a sudden we're all getting handed an extra, $1,000 a month just to like help us get by, if fucking gas just decides to go up $1 or fucking rent decides to go up $300, like you're actually not getting $1,000 more. You're just having that $1,000 more farmed from you in a more rapacious way. The thing that I like to bring up that I love is because of all people, Richard Nixon did this. There was an inflationary crisis in the 70s, and Nixon sat down all the companies and told them if they raised their prices like right now or anytime soon, he would seize their companies and just nationalize their industries. So he'd seize, as the federal government, which has the power to do, would seize the production of their product, their industry or whatever, and take over control of it. And then he sat all the union leaders down and he said, if you all ask for more money, like I will shut it down. And the inflation went away. Because without that fear of wage raise and without that fear of price raise, all of a sudden everybody just kind of chilled out and everything evened itself out, because the president has the power to do that. Yeah. And if Biden would just fucking nut up and do that shit rather than pussyfooting around all this shit, he could actually do something as the president, like eliminate student debt or any of the other fucking things he has the power to do.
Yeah. One of my good friends
said he's a bitch.
One of my good friends texted me like a couple weeks ago. He's like, "Hey, my school loans disappeared." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Dude, I had $50,000 in student loans that just I got the email that I don't have to pay it anymore." I'm like, "Oh shit."
Damn. So he owed like under the threshold or whatever that it got wiped.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So he was like relieved. I'm like, holy shit. I'd be relieved too. $50,000 you don't got to worry about. That's nice.
Dude, that's fucking life changing, dude. And that's one thing. Like, at least he is doing like, I know he could do all of it, but it is relieving at least that he is doing like some of it, because it is really showing, like, as terrible as he fucking is, it is showing like an actual fucking impact on people's lives, which is awesome. Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, because it's scary too. Yeah, because come on, like these young kids going to college and signing off and all this debt. And, when I was that young, I didn't know what the hell I really wanted to do. And now you're like, even if you file for bankruptcy, those things still follow you. Like it's like the one thing you can't get rid of.
I can't remember who it was I was listening to a podcast about, but they were talking about. It was I listened to the history of Silicon Valley.
Okay.
And they talked about Stanford and how evil Stanford actually is, which I didn't realize how evil Stanford was. But all these guys these original class of Stanford who set out to make it the MIT of the West Coast, and have largely succeeded in doing that. A lot of these people who have created this like rapacious, like fucking like hyper competitive, exploitive industry that is the Silicon Valley, that also has resulted in Stanford being expensive as fuck as well. Now all these people went to Stanford when it was free.
That's wild,
because it was a free college for like a really long time. In its like infancy, and it's like just so crazy, like how many people who like talk to us like we're lazy or we're fucking stupid or we don't have we don't have it to like go to school for all these years and be successful people or whatever, and we're not serious. So many of them went to school when it was free.
Yeah, it's like they didn't have to take on
subsidized.
Yeah, they didn't have to take on all this crazy debt. And
like it's fucking evil, dude. Like anybody who looks at us like we've got it fucking easy, like fuck you, dude. Feel my fucking hands.
You gotta get that TikTok jumping. TikTok's paying really well.
Is it really?
I don't know.
We do need to make more TikToks. We've been laxing since Ashton's been working so much.
Okay, I wanted to ask you about the label. You guys have kind of pivoted to this weekly newsletter.
Yes,
which I think is cool.
I hate Twitter, dude.
Okay, but like
I hate Twitter. We get no. It's so hard to get anything you say on Twitter seen, because the way shit shows up on people's feeds now. It fucking sucks. Anytime I log in, I see the same fucking 10 people's tweets. So yeah, so if anybody wants to keep up on LDB, go to the website, sign up for the newsletter, and I've been doing a weekly little thing. Sometimes the last one I think I just talked about how we went and saw Painted Truth, and it was awesome. We stayed out late eating with friends and just reminding people to do shit like that. And then also, if you want to find out about anything we've got new going on, that's the place to find out. Because other than that, I mean, we'll post our records on Instagram when we have new shit in the store, but I don't like bugging people about like on social media about like buying shit.
I don't know if it's bugging because I feel like
it feels panhandly. It feels panhandly to me.
I feel like it just depends on how you present it.
I want people to know when we have stuff. I want people to know we have stuff when we do, but I don't know any other way to do it other than like, this is the most personal way I can do it without feeling like, I don't know, that I'm begging for money.
I think it's an interesting approach because I see it. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let me read what they have to say. Because I guess, this is the one statement I'm going to get till next week. So I got to check it out and pay attention. That's what I feel like I feel like not knowing now that like there's going to be like way less activity on Twitter, and then that like the real stuff is going to come through this newsletter. I'm like, all right, I feel like it makes it more meaningful.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's also me. I'm doing it. Ashton showed me how to do it. So like when you see that newsletter, like I linked those, I copied those links into that shit. I made that thing work. She showed me how to do it.
That's awesome.
Like every time I do it, I feel like I accomplished something because I'm so stupid when it comes to this shit.
Yeah, no, but it's cool though. I definitely because things can get lost in your Twitter feed because I'm not checking Twitter every fucking second, so I definitely miss a lot of tweets. So knowing
I don't even check it every day anymore.
So knowing that I'll get this message sent to my email, which I do check, pretty frequently because there's like because I signed it with my real email. I'm not out here, I actually like take it serious. So.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I've gotten a few responses to it. And I'll also say, if you're listening to this and you have a thought or anything, I respond to emails that people send me. So.
Okay. So if I were to respond to the newsletter, you would. Okay.
If you respond to the newsletter, it comes to me. Yeah. Jessa from Canada responded to the first one. Was like, I'm so glad you're doing this. This is awesome. I was like, yeah, that means something. It means something to know if somebody read it and didn't just like click it and then hit unsubscribe.
Yeah. No, it's cool. And shout out Jessa too. She's always working hard. So.
Hell yeah, it's a true believer.
Yeah.
In the core. But yeah, no. The LDB's had a lot going on though. We had that Gates record come out. We're have shirts up in the store I think this week, and the Dose vinyl will be in the store next week. So we've got like a lot coming up for the end of the year. The Apex Predator record should be out by the end of the year. And
what about that? The new Strangle You came out, I think, between the last time you were on and now, right?
Do they put out a new record?
Yeah, they put like 3 new songs. I thought it was.
Oh damn! I don't want to talk on the Strangle You stuff because I don't know what Heyman's shared that with their plans.
Okay. I know. Okay, but yeah. Okay. We don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't want to tell people's plans before they do. But yeah, no, I didn't even honestly. I've been so out of the loop online and shit. If somebody doesn't alert me that there's new music, I didn't even know they had new shit out. And they're a band we did a record for. I also haven't had his number since I snapped my last flip phone in half, and I have his test presses literally sitting in the room next to this one, waiting for him to text me the people in the band's names or check the Strangle You email to see that they I emailed them asking, hey, what's everybody in Strangle You's name so I can send you your test presses, and he never responded to the email. So I don't have his number anymore. So I'm just waiting.
I can give it to you offline.
Okay, yeah, text it to me.
Okay.
So I can text him so I can get those test presses, because I never had covers for him when the records were done, and then when I finally got covers, I had lost his number, and he hasn't texted me, because that's how I get people's number back. If you haven't heard from me in a long time and we're friends and you have my number, I don't have your number anymore.
Okay. All right. Yeah. If you're wondering, just shoot Tyler a text and he'll get back to you.
Yeah.
You gotta.
That's literally, I play a game every time I break my phone of trying to figure out, based on context of what somebody just texted me out of the blue, and sometimes their area code, who this might be.
Oh,
usually I just say, I got a new phone. Who is this? But
yeah,
sometimes I try to just figure it out through context.
Yeah. See, I don't really give my phone number out too often. And the other day, someone called me from the Scranton Wilkes-Barre area, because I know that area code, you know, right when I saw it, I'm like, oh shit, like, who's calling me? Maybe like, you know, somebody that I know got a new number. So I like picked up, I'm like, yo, like, what's up? And no answer. Click. Call me. And they're like calling me, and I'm just like, all right, I gotta get to the bottom of this. So I start reaching out to my friends from the area. I'm like, hey, here's a phone number. Is it in your phone? Who is this? They keep calling me, and nobody knows who it is. And
weird.
Yeah, it's so strange, because like, you know, like I'm not like, you know, obviously like my friends have my phone number, like you know, I give it out to my friends, but I'm not, it's not like a public thing. I'm not like posting my number everywhere. So it was just the weirdest thing.
God, I never answer my phone. I'm like so adverse to answering my phone.
I know. I called you, I think, one time.
Yeah, you called me recently, and
Yeah.
I can't remember what I was doing. I think you might have called me when we were in the theater for Killers of the Flower Moon.
Okay, for sure.
And I think I didn't want to. You didn't leave a voicemail, and you didn't text me also, so I didn't know if you called me on purpose.
Oh yeah, no. Normally, I'm more of like because I think I was just trying to like sort this out, so I wanted to talk about it instead of like just texting back and forth. But it wasn't like urgent, so that's why I didn't like, you know, leave a voicemail or text you. I just all right, he's must be with you.
I think my voicemail says, if you don't leave me a voicemail, I will not call you.
Hey, that's smart, because there's like half the time, like, I don't want to leave a voicemail. I just, you know, hang up.
I just like to know what somebody wanted from me. Sometimes people were mad at me for shit, and I want to know if they're mad at me first.
That's funny. But yeah, okay. Yeah, give you some time to mentally prepare.
Yeah. I need to prepare my defense.
Okay. Well, we're gonna return fairly soon, because
like in a week or so.
Yeah, in a week or so, and conversation now was fun, but it's just about to get even crazier once we have like this final puzzle piece for the year, and then
the only thing I've heard about it negative is people have said it's too short.
Really? Dude, I watched this guy. I don't know if he was like a misogynist or something, but he was like, I was watching his videos. I'm like, okay, this guy has some great points, but then he kept like, he's like, all right, we're gonna call her I forget the villain's name of the Marvels, but apparently they gender swapped the character. So he was like, he gave like her like this like weird nickname, and then he used the term MCU a lot. I'm like, wait, am I watching some like weird?
Who was it? Do you remember?
It was like Nerdrotic or
Nerdrotic. That's the right wing guy.
Oh, okay. So I watched like, because I watched like one video. I'm like, okay, this is like kind of annoying, but I can kind of put up with it.
If Brie Larson dies, that guy is suspect number one.
Okay. See, like by like the time I was going through like his third video, I'm like, these jokes, I don't like these jokes. I was like, so I just stopped. Okay,
up, dude,
that makes sense.
If you really want to take a ride, look up Nerdrotic Grifter. Look up Critical Drinker Grifter. Look up all these accounts, and then find videos of people dissecting their videos, and it is fucking crazy. I legitimately sometimes Ashton will like be at work and I'll be at home for like hours on end, and I will be watching people break down people I hate's videos on YouTube for sometimes 3 consecutive hours, just melting my brain with fury. It's pretty nuts. That Nerdrotic's pretty bad. He has like actual Nazi guys on his.
Oh really? Holy shit! What the hell was I watching?
Friday Night Tights is their like weekly podcast. He has people who've said some heinous shit.
See, and this is all from me watching like tons of like Captain Marvel like breakdowns, and he just popped up, and I'm like, okay, let me just check this out.
He makes exclusive videos to talk shit on Captain Marvel. Like, it's his favorite thing is hating Brie Larson. This man is fucked
That's
up.
crazy.
This man is very fucked
up. Like I said, like by like video 3, I was like, these jokes, like because I thought they were just jokes, but I was like, no, maybe this is like the way he really thinks.
No, he's like an actual psycho misogynist. Yeah, he's like he's like basically like what if Matt Walsh was a dork?
Oh, okay.
And Matt Walsh is already a dork.
That's crazy. That's so funny. Yeah. See, I didn't know. That's why. Well, I'm glad I brought it up.
Yeah. Critical Drinker is another one who's bad. But he's like the most popular movie reviewer critic on YouTube, which is terrifying because he's legitimately like warping the brain of teenage boys.
Really? See,
yeah.
When it comes to like the like comic book stuff, I just like New Rockstars is like my home. I like what they do.
New Rockstars, Emergency Awesome. I like his channel too, and Screen Crush. Screen Crush is my one I like. I think the production on it's good, and they're so positive. I like when people are like gonna watch things and be positive about it. When people are just watching shit to be pessimistic, it grinds on me.
Yeah, I was dying because New Rockstars, they're actually doing a live show tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. On Thursday at the Brain Dead Studio. Like,
oh shit!
Yeah, and I'm like, holy shit! Dude, like my like two worlds are like intersecting.
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah, but there's no way. Go. Hell no! On a Thursday night, I got shit to do. Well, I work Friday morning, so there's no way I'm going out. Good luck getting me to go out and do anything.
I feel you. I just suffer.
You know, I try, but no, it's like the other night, like I had some friends in from Philly, and we were out to like 1 a.m, and I was off, and it felt great to go home. I got home at like 2 a.m, and I was like, no stress. I'm just gonna just wake up whenever I want.
Yeah, that was me after the Pain of Truth show. We went out for burgers with Isaac and Dave and Chandler, who plays guitar in Two Witnesses. One of the 3 guitar players in Two Witnesses. But we went out to eat, and we were out till like close to 1, and I was like, it felt really good to just be out with friends.
Yeah.
But I was off the next day, but I didn't walk normal for like 3 days. So.
What were you doing? Because you're moshing
really hard.
Yeah. Moshing really hard.
Being a fucking asshole. That's what I was doing.
How was the turnout for that show?
Pretty sick. I think still that Portal venue, me and Isaac were talking about it. I think our record release is still the best attended show that's been there. But I mean, there've been sold out shows there, but like ours was like the highest cap of sold out. Like they did like a bunch of extra tickets for our show and oversold it a little bit. But yeah, I never found out what the head count was, but I mean, turnout was good and reactions were awesome. It was really good Two Witnesses set. Life's Question was awesome. Fucking Vomit Forth isn't like music I participate in, but I will always watch it because they do rip. And the Pain of Truth set was a Pain of Truth set. It's always good.
Yeah, I'm just curious about that tour routing because they're like they were just in Florida, so it feels like they went that, then they like cut back, and then now they're gonna make their way out west.
Yeah, I think that they have like a break before the West Coast though. I think they did it in like segments so they wouldn't have to tour consecutively.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of videos. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. New record's great. It's cool. Best hardcore band right now.
You think so?
Yeah, they're the best one. And I say that like not like being like, oh, they're my favorite fucking hardcore band, but like I think they're just pound for pound the best hardcore band right now. Yeah,
I feel like they've just like done it right because when they started playing shows, right? Because remember they like started like during like the pandemic, and then when they were able to actually put on a live show, and it's just been up for them.
Yeah, the energy's just there. It's fun. It's fun. It's all people who really care about hardcore.
Yeah, dude. I remember when they first made it to the West Coast. I think was it 1720 the first time they played Southern California, and it's just insane. And it's cool to watch. Yeah, I'm a fan of Painted Truth. I like the people in the band, and I'm happy to see them do well. And the new record's awesome. Like I love the new record.
Yeah, I like legitimately. I hope they are what, because Terror cannot go forever.
Yeah, they can.
They're gonna die at some point.
When Terror dies, I die.
Vogel will die on stage.
Well, I will die too.
I mean, part of me will die. I might die stage diving to Terror, but yeah, I mean, anything can happen. But I think Painted Truth is the only band I could consider, and it's not at a time. I think I would have thought Trapped Under Ice, but I think it's even more Painted Truth has that fire and that energy to take that place when Terror inevitably gets off that throne.
Yeah, because their style is so good.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's so they're such similar vibes of fun, and the songs are about hardcore and stuff and hardcore things, and it's just for the core, man. It's awesome. It's great. I'm a Painted Truth evangelist.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge fan. Michael
always, the New Testament.
Michael's always been so kind to me, so I'm just
straight up, dude.
Yeah,
he's like I still remember the first time Hangman, might have been the first time Hangman played here, but one of the first times they played here, they stayed with me in Ashton. We were living at my dad's condo, and like they took over our living room, and when they left, there was like a really sweet note and a 7-inch on the TV, and
that's awesome.
That meant a lot. That was very sweet. It's still have it. Every time I'm flipping through the 7-inch crate and I see that Hangman 7-inch, I think about them staying with us. And yeah, he's just always been so down. I love that I got to do that record for Victory Garden. That's one of my favorite records we've put out. So yeah, great dude.
Yeah, as much as I wanted like Hangman to come back, because they had that single on the comp. You know, it's just members are all doing other bands, which are all doing great. So so even though Hangman's not active, it's cool to see all of them still doing stuff.
Yeah, and it would be awesome if at some point they do shows again, like more regularly. But I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, Trail of Lies took an insane break for years and then came back.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy is that there's kids to this day, like there's like this whole new wave of kids that have come in that have never even seen Trail of Lies, and they were like the hottest thing
for a minute.
Holy shit. Yeah. Shout out Tom Harris. Shout out Two Guns.
Two Guns is sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody in Two Guns is awesome. I just always have to shout out Tom Harris whenever Trail of Lies gets brought up, just because he's the homie, and I just I'm a fan of Syracuse hardcore, so shout out everything going on in Syracuse right now.
What's going on in Syracuse right now? I'm trying to think.
Shout out Deal with God. New music soon.
Oh, that is Deal with God's from Syracuse.
Yeah, and they just announced their New Year's Day show. Like they're just like working hard to.
Dude, they always do such a fucking sick annual. That's awesome.
Yeah, and they all play in another band. Dylan plays in All for All. You know, they're about to hit the road. Yeah, it just got announced today. All for All, Warn, Combust, and Bullshit. They're touring. I don't know where the tour starts, but they're touring down to FYA.
Cool.
So that's like a good look. And
I'm trying to think, what was that Syracuse band that was on the first? That was on the first fucking America's Hardcore Comp.
The first, I don't remember the first one.
Violent something. That shit rocked. And I think that was the title of the the song that was on the America's Hardcore comp. It was All for All. So I'm curious if that's why.
A reference.
We really need a Jamie to look this up.
Yeah, young Jamie.
Not you, Jamie, but you know.
No, 100%. I know exactly what you're talking about. I love the Joe Rogan podcast. Where was I at the other night? I told some people that I love Joe Rogan, and they got so weird about it. I was like, dude.
Violent Side.
Violent Side. Shut up, Violent Side.
That shit was awesome. I wonder if that's where they got the name. If so, that's a good song on that comp. So good call for that. Yeah, I mean, no, Joe Rogan was awesome, and
he's still awesome. What are you talking about?
No, dude,
okay.
If he starts having some people on who don't just spread conspiracy theories, and if he stops having Jordan Peterson on, I'll say Joe Rogan's awesome. But
when was
as long as he's having Jordan Peterson on, he can fucking kick rocks.
He just had on Robert Kennedy Jr. not too long ago.
Yeah, and that guy sucks.
Oh, you don't like him?
RFK is a bad person. Dude,
he's
a liar and a grifter.
He's going to beat Trump.
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's going to cause Biden to lose when he inevitably runs as a third party, even though Trump would probably win already because of how badly Biden handles so many things. Yeah, RFK is awful, dude. He's a vaccine denier.
I don't know if we should get into this right now.
Well, no, like he's a vaccine denier on like stuff that's been like proven to be wrong, like a vaccines cause autism guy. He's a vaccines cause autism guy. That's not true. That's a lie.
I haven't looked into it.
It's just not true. It's a grift. It's a grift. You say that shit because there are moms who are so scared and do not understand science because our fucking education system in this country, like we have said, people learn things that are wrong in school and then never get shit corrected. But people just believe shit they read on Facebook. RFK is the candidate for people who believe things that they see on Facebook without ever checking anything out. He is that candidate.
I gotta go log into Facebook to see what he's promoting.
No, it's not him promoting it. It's just he is the candidate of Facebook moms. Of people who just see shit on the internet and go, well, that's got to be true. I read it on the internet. That's RFK. That's his constituency, is people who read things on the internet and think it's true and don't realize that people just post lies on the internet.
It's not people. It's Russians.
Jamie, don't worry me.
In 5 years, we're going to be speaking Russian and Chinese. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, he knew it. Fucking Joe Rogan knew what he was doing having RFK on there because they all think the same fucking things, and it's all fucking wrong. And Joe Rogan's just increasingly an idiot. He's increasingly old. Same with Bill Maher. All these old fucks who are unwilling to learn or grow. Again, like we said earlier, should always be learning, should always be growing.
All right, I want to sit down and listen to an episode of the Joe Rogan podcast with you.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll be increasingly angry.
There'll be let's do it when I visit.
Yes, I'll tell you more about that when we get off air.
Okay. All right. Well, this is awesome. I fucking love talking to you. I can't wait to do it again in about a week or so.
Like a week, yeah.
But okay. Anything else? Because we're right at the end. If I
think of anything else, I can say next week.
Yeah, that's true. We got one more thing in the MCU this year, and then we can talk about how interesting 2024 will be in regards to the MCU. But Tyler, I truly appreciate your time. This is seriously, I always say these are some of my favorite podcasts to do. I always look forward to them. So thank you. I appreciate your time.
Of course, brother. I fucking love it. And dude, if there's anything I could say, go out and eat with your friends, y'all. Stay out till 1 a.m. with your friends. It's awesome.
100%. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll be back really soon. Marvel's episode up next.